Welcome back to the Retro Honey Adventures with Mr. MegaManFan. For this week's episode, I'm going to do something different because I realize I'm starting to get a little backlogged on the number of games that I've found in pickups. So instead of showing you gameplay footage from each one of them, I'm going to show you each game, talk about why I bought it, and then in the captions below, I'll show you whether or not it worked when I tested it. Are you ready? Here we go. March Madness 2001. The reason I picked this one up is because even though it is sealed, never been opened, it was only $5. I had a March Madness game for PlayStation, but not 2001, and it just amused me that they were selling a sealed game for the loose price, so I said screw it, why not? .3D Baseball. There were very slim pickings at half-price books that day in terms of games that I didn't already have, but this was one that I didn't, so I decided, why not? One more baseball game, what's it gonna hurt? And this one seems to be a little less common, a little more unusual than some of the others. It's not like a typical MLB game. Grind session. I had some credit at Trade Post, and I wanted to burn a little of it. Plus, with each purchase, you get more credit, so why not? This is one I probably couldn't show you on a stream anyway, because with music from Jizza, KRS-One, Dr. Octagon, it's going to get a copyright flag if I showed you any footage of it whatsoever. Past Cure for Xbox One. I have $5 in credit monthly at GameStop, so I literally picked the lowest cost item that I possibly could because they won't give you the credit unless it costs more than $5. So take $5 off. This was only $1.99 plus tax. If it's any good, then I win, and if it's not, I'm out $2. Kind of looks like John Wick on the cover though, doesn't it? Gives me a small amount of hope it might not suck. Skylanders Trap Team, because somebody on Atari Age informed me that I was missing this game from my list. I have all the other Wii U Skylanders games. I have the Portal. I even have a few figures. This is obviously in fairly rough shape, but I didn't really care what kind of shape it was in because there's only 2 Wii U games that I didn't have physical copies of from North American released Wii U games. I was going to get this one. It was worth it to get it when I saw it. Along those same lines, Wipeout 3, the other game I was told I didn't have on my list of Wii U physical games. And according to the people who commented, my list included some games that other lists didn't, like Axiom Verge and Shakedown Hawaii, so I've got a feeling that by picking up Wipeout 3 and Skylanders Trap Team, I've got the full set. And yes, that means even the really stupid stuff, the stupid expensive stuff like Devil's Third, I've got that too. Pinball Arcade. This was another day of slim pickings at half-price books, but this one, it occurred to me, might just be retro enough to fit my fancy. Everything else was like first-person shooters or sports games, but this one promised 22 classic pinball tables. That was enough to sell me on it. Why not? NHL 2K3 proves that I need to pay more attention to my lists when I'm out shopping, because I had an NHL 2003 and it didn't occur to me that I didn't have NHL 2K3 until I saw this one on the shelf at a half price and thought, wait a minute, that's awfully specific. Why would I write NHL 2003 and not NHL 2K3 if I didn't already have it? So I bought it, went home and looked, and I didn't have 2K3. So I'm very glad I picked this one up when I did. Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones. Found this one at a trade post, and it's got stickers on it from like 3 other stores, so it's obviously been sold and resold multiple times, but this was another case of checking my list when I was out shopping, and it was one that I did not have. Even though I already had several Prince of Persia games, I did not have this one. Backyard Sports. So, a local game store that will not be named was trying to sell this for $75. I acknowledge that it's an uncommon game. It's a late release GameCube game, but even price charting, which is often way overpriced, listed this one at between $40 and $45. So I found an eBay seller who was willing to accept an offer and agree to a reasonable shipping charge, and picked it up complete in box for $30 less than what the store locally wanted for it. The Cat in the Hat. I was already buying a different game for PlayStation 2, but when they pulled it out of the drawer and showed me the back of the disc, it had some very deep scratches in it that I was convinced even resurfacing it wouldn't get out. So, out of desperation, I chose this game because they were having a buy 3, get the 4th one free. So, I already had 3 games that were worth at least $8.99, and this one was the free one out of those 4. If you're gonna get a free one, you might as well not pick a $2 game. You might as well pick one that's worth at least what you're paying, because they're always gonna give you the lowest cost one for free. So that's why I got that. Speaking of $8.99 games, Ghost Recon Predator, another Tom Clancy game. If it's good, it's good, and if it's not, then you can consider this one to be the free game. It's either this or Cat in the Hat. Rengoku Tower of Purgatory. Somebody unloaded their PSP collection at a half price, and this was one of the games that was there that I did not expect to see. And it was one I didn't have. Certainly looks like an interesting game. Become the master at the top of the tower. I'll give it a try and see if it's any good or not. Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Probably self-explanatory why I want this one. Price was a little higher than the price charting average, which we've already acknowledged can be high compared to what games really go for to begin with. But I have a discount card for half price books thanks to my wife. I can get 10% off because of her, so yeah, for 10% off, it's probably still a little too expensive, but at least it was 18 bucks instead of 20, and it's complete. Phantasy Star Portable. Again, probably self-explanatory why I wanted this one. Again, probably a little too pricey. Again, I got it for 10% off, so it was $22.50 instead of $25. And same story with Hakuoki Warriors of the Shinsengumi. It's interesting that I already had a Hakuoki game, but not this one. I didn't even know there were multiple games and that this was a franchise. But I guess it must not have been a big successful franchise, because honestly, other than picking up 2 games in the series used, I never even knew of it. And they're rated M for mature, so possibly the audience for these games was limited even beyond the limited amount that this franchise had value. But there used to be publishers and developers who would take risks like this. I mean, these days, every game that comes out has to be big budget and a big success, and you don't see risky premises on rated M games anymore like you used to back in the day. Everything's gotta sell. That's it. That's all my recent pickups. So I'll let you know which ones worked and which ones didn't. Hopefully they all worked, and I won't have to return anything for an exchange or store credit or a refund.